And I said, "Can you do a fundraiser for me?" He said, "Sure." So I'm then elected to the Senate. And literally in the first couple of months, I get a present. It's obviously some kind of picture. And I open the present. It's a picture of that exact moment with Frazier and me with our heads down, Jack Marin going like this, the scoreboard saying 92 to 91, and he puts a little note on it and says, "In case you get a big head in the Senate, remember this."
This team has 5 guys over 35, Jason Kidd playing.
Yeah.
How have things changed as far as how these athletes can train and maintain a high level?
I think that they condition themselves. When I played, you play the game, and then you take off. You play the game, and then you take off. I wouldn't touch the ball from May until July. And then I had to get back in shape. And I think now, because they realize that they can play that long, if they constantly keep their body in shape. Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Duncan. It's unheard of.
What?
One year in my time. Will was the closest thing to it.
I'm quite frankly of the age when the very first time I ever had an experience in sports as a fan where my heart actually dropped into my belly was on that Unseld tip.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all sitting at home just, what? I mean, whatever you felt, the fan base, the heart literally dropped.
We had great fans.
It was amazing.
Of people, not millions, but
No.
a lot of people told me about listening to the game. They kept a transistor radio under their pillow.
Absolutely.
Listen to the game. And so that was a great thing about playing in New York. You knew you had people who were with you that would share every emotion, which was, the thrill of winning,
Right.
but also, the crush of losing.
When did you begin to think, or have you ever thought that this team or these two seasons, 69 and 73, 78, 73, were iconic teams, as opposed to just, a personal, experience?
Well,
Iconic is a different scenario.
What people don't realize is 3 out of 4 years we were in the finals. There was that one moment when we lost to Baltimore, where we would have been in 4 years. And I think when we lost in the finals against LA in 1972, with the new team, with Lucas and Monroe added, I said, came in the locker room and said, next year we're going for it. Same way in 1969, when Kazi broke his leg, or broke his ankle, they moved me to forward. And we had 5 players who played over 40 minutes a game for probably 39 games. So the unit gelled.
Was that when McGuire was coaching?
No.
Was that Red already?
Red took over.
Okay.
Red.
Why do you think it is that the way the game is played today is pretty much so much different? Everybody you talk to, they say, we're unselfish, we were unselfish, we don't care who scored. Now everything is set up for the stars. There's a star on the team. I mean, basketball seemed to have been better to watch back then and more, more
Well, you're
fun.
talking to somebody who's prejudiced about that. I think it's better to watch because, as I said, it's about finesse. You play with your feet. Now it's about strength, and you play with your upper body. Back then, there was no three-point rule, so the object of the game was get the easiest shot closest to the basket with maximum movement. And now, you do a pick and roll on one side, the 6 guys stand at 30 feet, and you throw it out. And they're great shooters at 30 feet, but there are not a whole lot of players that can shoot the mid-range jumper off the dribble.
Right.
And you had to do that when we played because you never knew if your movement where you were going to get the ball.
Bill, your experience is very similar to a lot of the young kids who are coming into this league when they're 20, 21 years old or 19. You were on the cover of sports magazines when you were at Princeton. The whole crescendo of Bradley at Princeton was a big deal. What advice would you give to kids today when you're getting all that publicity so soon in your career, and how to deal with that? How'd you deal with it?
Well, it's very interesting. I dealt with it. I had certain perspective on it when I was in college. You know, I knew I had work to do, academics, so I took it for what it was. But when I went to Oxford, really one of the reasons was I kind of wanted to get away from it. But then I came back and played, big hoopla, right? The first game I played,
Eddie Miles.
well, yeah, but in the warm-ups, every time I touched the ball, 18-5 in the old Madison Square Garden started roaring, 18-5, right? And then I was playing guard at the time, and probably within 10 games, they turned on me because I was too slow, etc. So literally, as you would exit from the court under the stands, people would spit on me, would throw coins at me. Guys in the taxi cabs would say I was a bum. It was a very humbling experience. One of the ways you realize is however much on top you are today, it doesn't take a whole lot for you to be far down tomorrow.
I've heard the stories that are during the Celtics series in 1973, you guys lose Game 6 here at the Garden. Afterwards, the president of the Garden comes in.
Yeah, no, it was the next day. We were supposed to win this in the sixth game. We didn't, for whatever reason. So the next day we have a practice, and then we play the Celtics, the seventh game in Boston. The seventh game they had never lost in Boston. So the president of the Knicks, Ned Irish, comes down to Pace College, 4 floors underground, where we were practicing. And he assembles the group and says, "You could have won it last night, but you blew it. You're probably going to blow tomorrow, too." And he walks out, right? And everybody says, "This shit, we're not going to lose." And we did.
You think he said it? Like you
Well,
guys
I
needed
would.
some
I would.
psychological lift, or-
I don't know. He never appeared ever in the locker room in all the years I played. This is the only practice. No, I came to another practice. He only came to 2 practices. One was that one, and the other one was when the Players Association cut a deal with a basketball card company to get the money from basketball card pictures. So we got a training camp. The photographer was there taking pictures, and Ned Irish showed up and said, "Your contract prevents you from doing anything that doesn't accrue to the financial benefit of the Garden, and this goes to the union, so you're not allowed to do that." And so I said to him, I was the player rep. "Is that the only provision?" "Yeah, you're not allowed to show New York on your shirt, because that belongs to the Knicks." And so I said, "But that's the only prohibition." He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, everybody, turn your shirt around." And so that year in the basketball cards, you see Bradley, you see Frazier, Reed.